and the video begins playing for you. Or you can open it in a full screen. You have all of this available to you out of the box. Question?
Is it possible on your website, without going to the YouTube page, let's say you have a channel of 20 videos and you want continuous playback of every single video without someone clicking on it? Once someone comes into your website, I want that video playing.
Absolutely. Yeah, you see these right here?
Yes.
These are, I allow full screen, right? So I'm allowing this to be shown. There's other variables that you can plug in here. One of those variables, and I don't remember the exact variable off the top of my head, but it's an immediate playback variable. So when you arrive at the page, it would immediately begin playing. There's another thing you can do
those websites do have skip this step if you want it.
Well, that, I think you're thinking of Flash. Like if you wanted to skip the Flash, you had the ability to. Has anyone ever gone to a page where it comes up and it is a movie? You're right. It could.
So it's playing. It's loud.
I want to get out of here. Yeah. You know what? I haven't implemented anything like that, but I suppose that would be applicable. That's actually a good point. Something to think about. No, that's fine. But what you can do too is, and for free. This isn't something that occurs through the AdWords platform, but say for example, when I enlarge this video, or even better, a better example would be if I visited my company's YouTube channel homepage and I'm playing a video, I might want that customer or that person who's viewing the video to be able to seamlessly get to my website. And what YouTube is offering free is what's known as a call to action overlay. Easy to design, a couple of lines of code, and when it's implemented and activated, it'll over the screen, it's an in-stream type of thing. It's horizontal, and it's your advertisement, and it gives the viewer the ability to click on a link that goes to the website of your choosing, or the web page of your choosing. Now, as far as the analytics, this is amazing. I mean, this is what you have available to you by leveraging YouTube videos. Let's start here. You have a full breakdown of all the various geographies of the people that are viewing your videos. By using this approach and embedding the videos into your site, or even by having a YouTube channel in general, you now have access to, and this is only a snapshot, folks, there's much more to it than this. This is this top level stuff. The ability to see who's visiting your site and all of these different things that are related to their makeup. Gender, right? So here we see the YouTube watch page. 71% of the customers are actually going to YouTube, and what that means, the YouTube watch page is not the only way to access it is through this link. If I go to YouTube and I search on the term mass notification and I find your video, because YouTube is the #2 search engine in the world behind Google, I don't know if I mentioned that yet, it's going to play in the watch page. It's not going to play on your home page. So that means that this customer, 71% rate of watches is pretty well optimized on YouTube. The embedded player is this. That's exactly what this is. So that comprises 18% of their overall video views. And then you see some other statistics here, metrics on referrals, etc. And you could go ad infinitum into this. And the analytics portion of the YouTube channel, it's called Insights, is absolutely amazing. And again, it's free for us to use. It's at our disposal. I would say, yeah. There's so many people now. I mean, it used to take, to produce a quality video, you need to bring in a company like TMCnet, or one of those big providers, and they bring in spotlights. With the technology that we have available to us now, with these cameras that are integral, that are built into these machines, I mean, they got the same pixelation and the same quality that those cameras are going to have. If you have proper lighting in your room, this room might not do it. But if you have proper lighting in your office, there's a woman from somewhere now, I forget her name, but they recorded a video. I mean, they've taken on a corporate policy where they have coffers, I'm sure, where they have a lot of investors, where they could certainly go out and buy expensive companies to come in and do their video production. They do them in-house. Why not? It's, as long as it's scripted right and it's well choreographed, you have the technology, you upload it to YouTube, it has the ability to go viral, why not use it? Good stuff. Is there another question over here?
Is YouTube, is there a ranking also? Because there's so much information on
Oh, yeah.
YouTube, just like
Absolutely.
Google. Is there a ranking sequence to the YouTube also?
Yes. Google, I'm sorry, YouTube is the #2 search engine in the world. So yeah, it's a very robust search. It works the same way as Google. You go in and there's a search function, and you could just search. And think about, I mean, my generation, we weren't so into video content. My son, I mean, these guys, all they do is look at videos on YouTube. Think about when they get a little older and they're out in the working world, how much more powerful this stuff is going to become as a marketing channel. Because that's all they use. He typically doesn't use Google. He goes right to YouTube. Another question?
On YouTube, if I load up a video to my channel, is the video mine or is it YouTube owns it? It's their copyright.
You know, that's a good question.
Oh, wow. It's your copyright.
I believe it is still your copyright.
They have the right to use it, but you still own the copyright.
Thank you. He's answering that. I think he's answering that correctly. I don't believe, and I couldn't believe that they suddenly, by virtue of the fact that you uploaded your video, they claim, you know, all rights and terms and conditions to your video content moving forward. That would be a significant downside. But that's a great question.
Well,
Please.
You say that, Jeff, you said they have the right to use it. Do they have the right to benefit from it financially?
The only thing I know is you can watch, like, when somebody does something and it gets uploaded, whatever it is, something on a show, within an hour, with so much time, it'll say, you'll see it blacked out and you try to review it again, it's, you know, like NBC or something will pull it. So
Right.
somebody, the original person always seems to have, if you get the right person in YouTube, you can pull it right off.
Yeah, you can pull it. You maintain those rights of exclusivity. And I've seen instances, and it's happened recently, where YouTube will actually ban videos. If you're promoting black hat SEO, for example, you know, underhanded SEO tactics, YouTube is now at a point where things have become so sophisticated and it's so big, they'll actually ban specific videos, even if they're not, content that we would otherwise deem inappropriate. Another question?
Yeah, again, if you're trying to target a very confined regional area, a few counties in a given state, do you actually do yourself a disservice by creating a really artistic or interesting video that may draw all kinds of attention and hits to your website that you're paying for that have nothing to do with increasing your business, your local
That's
business?
good stuff. It can't hurt you because the more traffic you have, the higher your visibility is going to become, because through the eyes of Google and YouTube, you're going to be that much more relevant. And they take those factors into account. And we'll get into that more, and I don't want to go too deep into it, but there was an algorithm update. It's called Panda. They used to Kung Fu Panda. But it was actually, the developer's name was Panda, I believe, and that's why they named it that. But they take into account traffic, bounce rate, which is, people staying on your site and being engaged with your content. So that's one side. On the other end of your question, I think that your content really, it's not just about traffic. You're hitting on a great point. At the end of the day, you could have all the traffic in the world, and you could have a high number of conversions. That's the number of people that come to your site and sign up. You got to be able to measure the revenue. And that's a tough one. If you don't have a customer relationship management system, it has to be integral with your processes. At the point of sale, people has to be asking the question, how did you find us? And what was the channel that led you to me? And was it the internet? Maybe fill out a form before the deal closes and force the sales team, to abide by that process. And that's really the only way you're going to know, what your return on investment is. That's the best way. You got to have the feedback direct. Otherwise, it's all smoke and mirrors. Yeah, and like I had mentioned earlier, you can generate tons of traffic, junk traffic. It's really about the revenue at the end of the day. Thanks. Any more questions on this one, guys? I know we're 10 minutes. 10 minutes left? Oh my God. We have a long way to go.
No, you need to go fast. Yeah, no,
I don't know what to do here. All right, I'm gonna jump this slide.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go, basic HTML. Let me just give you a quick rundown here. The great dialogue. I hope everyone is happy with the dialogue. It's been fantastic. But intro to web development, we wanted to do all of that upfront stuff, and we wanted to also give you, some of the under the hood. So here's a basic HTML page, and let's minimize the questions right now. So it opens with an HTML tag, and every HTML page, hypertext markup language page, closes with an HTML tag. All right? Every HTML page has a header, opening, closing, and then you have titles, opening, closing tag, meta name to someone's question earlier. There's one called robots. You can tell the robots to index your page and follow the links within it, or you could tell it not to. No index, no follow, index, no follow, right? So it's the index is for following links on your page. The other one, the index, is for actually indexing the page itself. There's the meta description. That's where it's declared. So these are declarations, and that's declared in the header. When we get down here, link, relation, and style sheet, that's how you're declaring a relation to your style sheet. That's how you're going to control the fonts, the colors, the spacing, etc. on your site. And then we have a reference here to a JavaScript file that in a minute I'm going to show you works to make sure that a person is putting in valid information when they're filling out a form on your website. In the body, there's a header 1, my first heading. P is for a paragraph. Paragraphs are used to sectionalize your site. We also use divider tags, div tags, to perform the same function. So when we talk about basic JavaScript, it's a flexible programming language that leverages the DOM. The DOM is, for any web page, the document object model. The document object model is a programming means by which, through JavaScript, you can access various elements within your web page. The top level element is called an object, rather. It's an object-oriented language. You're not going to come out of here as developers today, but if you have a basic understanding, then I think we've been successful. The window object goes down to the document object, goes down to the form object, which then makes available to you the ability to access values from all of these different elements that comprise your web page. Text elements, radio buttons, those are the yes, no's, the little circles, selection boxes, text areas, etc. So an example of that, we're not going to go into this whole thing. You guys have this in your printout so you can use it hopefully when you get home. Let's just look at the text. So you have a text field, which as we know, is right down here. There's our text field. Okay? So input type is assigned text, name is assigned text name, and that's the size. So that means that they're not going to be able to put in more than 20 characters. So I'm declaring the input type of text. And you notice on the left and the right, you have the left arrow, the right arrow. Input type is assigned. The equal sign means assigned, quote unquote, text. Now, moving down the line, you could use basically the same type of a syntax to declare all types of other elements within your web page. This one, for example, it's called a select. Name is assigned title, and it gives you different options. That would be a single selection drop-down list, and etc. So you see the radio button, input type is assigned radio, name is assigned grade, value is assigned this. Now you can pull from those values, and you can perform actions against them. So if we look at this JavaScript function example, we're leveraging the form tag. And the form, as we know, is a subset of the document object. The document object is available to us to do exactly this type of thing. So I've declared a form inside of my document in the HTML. Form name is assigned form 1. That's the name I'm going to use to access this form. I have an event called onSubmit and an input type of submit. The input type of submit is going to generate a button that renders a little bit differently in terms of look and feel across the various browsers. When I submit, I'm going to call this function, return check form, this. What this is going to do, that keyword is what it's called in the programming world, is going to pass all the information that I'm collecting in this field, in this document, the document object, and I'm going to be able to perform actions against that in the context of my JavaScript function. So there's my function. I declared it check form, right? Same name. And then document.forms, and there's the name, form 1. We use a dot operator to call different objects within the form, right? Or different objects within the hierarchy. So I'm saying the double equal sign means equals. That's the equals in the programming world. First name dot value equals